Welcome to some creative conversation starting now. Actually, in about 35 seconds.
Seconds.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
How dare you!
Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore, your morning dose of creative conversation and coffee with your host, Brian K. Morris, independent publisher, freelance hybrid author, award-winning playwright, Facebook famous YouTuber, and former mortician's assistant. Get ready to start your day off right.
And good morning. How the heck are you, everyone? Welcome to the Monday, January 17th, 2022 edition of Nevermind the Furthermore, creative conversation and coffee with you and me. Oh boy, I can't wait. Well, I'm not. Here I am. Anyway, hope you're having a great day. We're going to give you some time this morning to ease into your work day. And we hope you're looking forward to a good week this week. We're in the third week of the new year. So far, so good. The meteor hasn't hit, but the day's not over yet, kids. Anyway, hope you're all having a great day. And whether you're watching us on live or on the rerun, please type in your comments. We'll comment back at you. And first of all, let's start out with the attitude of gratitude, namely that of our daily sponsor, Plasma Fire Graphics. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. Creating a book is not an easy job. Don't let anybody. But when you have it all done and you're ready to put this thing out into the world, you need a great cover to get people's attention for it. And that's where Jeffrey Hayes and Plasma Fire Graphics come in. They will show you a great sellable cover, and it can also whip up some graphics you can use to promote the book online, as well as a beautiful book trailer that will really help sell your book. He's incredibly talented, this Jeffrey is, and he's great to work with. Trust me, we're working on some projects together, and his presence improves them all, believe me. And he's a highly respected name in the independent publishing field. So go to the Plasma Fire Graphics Facebook page, check out what he does, then go to the plasmafiregraphics.com and contact Jeffrey directly, get a hold of his rate sheet, and be prepared to be astounded at how independent, creator-friendly his prices are for all his great services. As Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. We're a part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Organization. We're a like-minded group of individuals helping each other raise each other up in our broadcasting and personal lives. And tomorrow morning, TED Talks at 10 a.m., where Ted Davies talks to a very special guest. Then tomorrow night will be the Dastardly Thing goes at 7 p.m. Eastern, where they continue their talk on creativity. It'll be a lot of fun. You'll love it. And we love our Patreon supporters who are helping us stay on the air. And in publishing, they get their names mentioned in most of our broadcasts and all of our books from this point on. And they also get other perks. For today, I will be readying the next episode of my exclusive blog just for my Patreon people. So if you want to figure out if we're talking about you, you better send me $1 every month, and you can read that blog too. $5 to let you see my works in progress. But anyway, we give you stuff in return for your support, and we are grateful as always. If you want to see your name on this card, go to www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris and check out what we offer you for a modest monthly stipend. And hope you had a great weekend. We had a good one. I gotta say that Cookie is not here right now. that she actually had to get up early because she has changed to first shift at her job, which is something she's been wanting for a long time. She did not like working late shift. She is a morning person. I married her anyway. Go figure. And anyway, she's now happily at work. I hope. Well, she's at work. I just hope she's happy. And then we'll have the rest of the evening together. But anyway, we're gonna carry on at the show. So that's why I'm talking a little more excitedly today. I don't have to keep the doors closed and keep things quiet to keep from waking her up, so she can get her sleep. Whereas, Monday, Wednesday's going to be a 60-minute show because I do have errands to run, and I do want to make a programming note. Friday we're going to have Karen Nicole on as a special guest. We the minute she's on, we get lots of requests. Can we have more Karen Nicole? And understandable. Kara is beautiful. She's intelligent. She's passionate about what she does, and she does so many things well. She's a cosplayer and a writer and an artist and media personality and just all around incredible lady. And I love talking to her. And so we're having her back, and she's going to be talking about her latest project. It's a new horror comic she's got going, and and she'll be ready for your questions on that. So please come join us Friday at 10 a.m. for a very special Never Mind the Furthermore. And let's get to your comments because they're very special to me and very special. Carl Wisman, good morning to you, my friend. We welcome everyone today as we celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day and the birthday of Betty White. Today would have been her 100th birthday, but she passed away 17 days too shy of that, and we miss her, and we do celebrate the wonderful, the amazing Martin Luther King, who carried a message of peace that still echoes in many of our hearts to this day. So, yes, both of these are great reasons to be celebrated. Wonderful, wonderful people. And yeah, I like one meme that's been going around that that basically death came for Betty White, and she said, "Not on my watch, bitches," and seized its throat in her teeth and dragged it down to Mordor. So anyway, that's the way I want to see her going. I can see her doing this. And Trish Bankston is here. Trish, good morning to you, mwah, and good morning to you. Hey, now you've got a project going that looks like a really good looking comic. Promote. Oh, hashtag always promote. And you got funded already, didn't you? An amazing looking book. I've got to get in on that. And good morning, Trish. You're here early. And yes, you have a Kickstarter campaign, I believe. I saw that our friend Mike Jimmy got funded in the first half hour or so. I think that's awesome. And Trish says, yes, we are about 70% funded. Yes, you will make it with 28 days to go. You have faith. That is great, Trish. Let me tell you a statistic that I learned several years ago about Kickstarter, that if you get at least 30% to 33% of your initial goal within the first 72 hours, you will basically slide on through across, break the tape across your chest to the finish line, and you are off to a sensational start. Trish, way to go. Proud of you. That is awesome. And Carl agrees with me. Way to go. And from the desk of the Small Press Publisher, Morning All, Joe enjoyed the show Saturday night. Check him out every Saturday night on the Rising Tide Network at 10 p.m. Couldn't stay up early because or too late because we were trying to get up early. We usually, when she was working second shift, we'd go to bed about 1 or 2 in the morning. She would wake up as close to noon as possible. And I still would do the shows, of course, but we were training ourselves to get up, and we had to get up at 6 the next morning to get up at 4 a.m. today. And she loves that sort of thing. She's a sick, demented woman, that cookie, but I love her. But anyway, so I am going to go back and watch your show later today. Please check it out. Joe had a very impassioned and excellent show. I got to see the first half hour of it, dealing with are the bean counters damaging the comic book industry, which I think would be a great discussion. We should do it one night on Comic Book Spectrum, get you all worked up and everything. Which, by the way, Comic Book Spectrum, part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, broadcasts every Thursday night at 7 p.m. with myself, occasionally Joe D. McPhee, always with Eric Hawkins, Clyde Hall, and Brian Rodman for all kinds of great conversation about comics. So please join us then too. Anyway, I will check that out later, Joe. Thank you for doing that show. That was really good what I saw. And Trish says we are doing better than most expected with this being our first Kickstarter, and a lot of no names are running one also. Yeah, but when you present a good product, my friend, that people will latch on to that, and good for you. I'm very proud of you. And morning, Brian and Madam Executive Producer, and a splendid good morning to you, Jody McPhee. Hope you're feeling better this morning. You sounded good the other night. And everyone's saying hello to Joe, and good job, Trish, says Carl Witzman. I have yet to dip my toe into KS, that's Kickstarter to its friends, and Indiegogo, but I might tread on an upcoming novel just to jumpstart sales. Carl, let's compare notes, because I'm mapping a strategy out for mine. We may do the terrors as part of a Kickstarter campaign that we are. In fact, part of what I was doing this morning was, aside from editing the first 2 chapters of the book, was working on what will be one of the thank you gifts. So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, let's talk, Carl. Seriously, I'd like to compare notes with you, because I may have some ideas that may help you. And I hope I didn't turn people off. I hope I did turn people off at Saturday's show. Just didn't want people to think it was a straight opinion / rants from this small press publisher. Tries to do some investigative journalism. If a hack like me can do it. Dude, what do you think I was making coin in before I went into fiction writing? Similar thing, but just with facts. But no, you did a really good job of doing your research and everything. And that was one of those shows that when you revisit, I'd love to come on with you, because I can see the need for bean counters, unfortunately. And the thing is, DC Comics for the last year and a half has run, well, especially since the pandemic, new publisher Daniel Cherry, he's been trying to run that operation lean and mean, which means no excess editorial people. He got rid of a lot of editors. I understand he either paid off or broke a number of exclusivity contracts with various talents, and just to save DC Comics some money, so they can remain viable under their new debt-laden owners of Comcast. So it's like, no, you did a great job. You seriously did. I'm looking forward to seeing the end of the show, and I will check that out later today. Everyone's saying hello, and Trish Bankson says, I wish you luck. Let us know when you do so we can share it out, because that's what we do. We are a sharing kind of house. And Trish, I believe I'm going to have to redo my card. And I thank you very much for that. I do appreciate that. But anyway, yeah, that's what we do. You're part of the rising tide now, Trish. Welcome aboard. Seriously. Carl Wisman said, you set a good example, Joe. People need to do some research and some analysis before going off half-cocked on things. Yeah, and there is, Carl, that's one of the reasons that I organized Comic Book Spectrum. And I surround myself with people like Joe, like Eric and Brian and Clyde, because we don't just jerk our knees to any sort of news that comes down the pike, for good or for bad. That one of my, this may not be the sort of thing to admit, but one of my examples is bleedingcool.com. Bleeding Cool is a rumor site that talks about wrestling, comics, movies, TV, etc. But at least most of the writers on there, particularly the editor Rich Johnson, makes a stab at verifying the story factually. There's a couple writers on there I don't think do that, and I really don't care for them being on there. One's initials are JT. If you read it, I really don't care for what he does. But anyway, more snark than content, just not unlike my show. But anyway, that's one thing we do try to do. We try to make a decent stab at researching what we talk about on there. And all of us have a background in comic history that we love sharing with people. And so I was very proud of Joe. Joe did a super job on that. I really did. Seriously. Chris Bankson says, honestly, that's what Kickstarter is for us too. Just to get more eyes on the prize, already done, just waiting to go to the printer. I love projects like that. I have found that most projects, unless I'm confident that they've got a good track record of delivery, I don't pledge for too many uh, Kickstarters that are going to take like 6 months to start fulfilling. Because I've had a couple. Well, we'll start it when we get all the money, and I'm like, and I'm sitting here holding the bag, and they're holding on to my money. So I don't do that too often anymore. And a few of those that I've gotten, I have been uniformly disappointed with, to one degree or another. So good for you, Trish. I'm very proud of you. You've done great. And let's please put in a link to your Kickstarter. Let's see if we can't get some more eyes on it while this show is running. Now that is the way to do it, Trish. Too many people depend on money to start work gives it a bad name. Carl, between that and not fulfilling pledges. In fact, Eric Hawkins turned me on to a subset of the comics community, a very vocal subset of the comics community that has an unfortunate history of not following through on its Kickstarter pledges. And I don't see why people endure that. I really don't. And Trish says, Carl, with Joe last night, we hit on that topic, how many creators jump into this thinking it's a quick road to fame without investing your own money. Yeah, and you should invest something into it because then it becomes genuinely yours. That was the thing when Eric Hawkins and I did a comic book about 5 years ago called The Ghostly Tales of Spencer Spook. Eric drew it all up front. I wrote it all up front. We put everything together up front. And any money we made was to pretty much, pay for Eric's time, to defer some costs on our end in production. I agree. It's good to invest your own funds in that. And if you do this correctly, and I've seen some creators do it, you take like any overages that you have and use that to help kickstart privately your next issue, your next project. That one project pays, basically you're collecting for issue 2, but it's going to go towards issue 3, that you're actually, recouping your money from, your initial investment in producing this. And then anything you get from your crowdfunding is kind of moved forward to help forward the next project. So, but yeah, and too many people think that you can just live off of your Kickstarter money. And fortunately, I'm seeing a lot of them fall by the wayside. And I'd like to see more do it. Carl Weston says, I constantly tell people that you become a novelist for the money, you are going to be sorely disappointed. Oh, AMG, is that ever the truth? I remember my first shot, The Coles Warrior, and I was sure I was going to sell 100 copies the first month. That I just had in my head that I was going to make the average by the end of the first month, because it was a good book. I'm still proud of it. And it was a popular character in comics, and I thought everybody's going to be clawing at each other to get a copy of it. And I only sold 20 the first month, and I was crushed. But you tell that to people outside the industry, and they're like, "You sold 20 copies? That's great!" And even in the people that knew that what they were talking about were like, "Oh my gosh, Brian, way to go!" And I'm like, are you people insane? I wanted to retire off this book, and it just wasn't to be. But it did sell more than 100 copies eventually. But it just wasn't that first month. And yes, Trish says, Carl, we're investing in the creation of the project first. Exactly. And good morning, Nicholas Tockert. Friday nights, the Historical Fencing Guild. Please check that show out on YouTube, a part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Good morning, Nevermorians. Last night, I spoke with Luke Stone. He is home. Good things in time are coming. That's great. I saw that he's posting more, and that he's actually, it sounds like he's helping somebody get something off the ground. But yeah, I've been talking with him PMs occasionally. Oh, that's so cool, Nick. Yes, for those of you who don't know, Luke Stone is a very wonderful man and a wonderful creator of comics, and a self-publisher. And he's created an incredible one of my favorite titles, Hybrids, that he was really gearing up production on that thing until he was hit with COVID-19. And he spent quite an uncomfortable time on a respirator, unfortunately. Stand down, Carl. No worries. But he has since recovered enough to be off the respirator, and he's back home, I believe. I know he got to spend the holidays at home, but I think he's back home now from rehab, where he has been basically, his muscles have atrophied, no surprise, while under the respirator, and he's now retraining himself to walk. But anyway, good on Luke and good on you, Nick. Hope he's doing well and hope you are too. And great, Nick. Well, these conversations should give Brian a running start on this Monday morning. Yeah, thanks, gang. And Sarah, mwah, you're still awake. What's up, girl? You're supposed to be sleeping. Anyway, Sarah, love you. Hunt to the abyss and back. And everyone's saying hi. And Carl, will he, what did I miss? You didn't miss anything yet. And I'm half asleep, but here, derping. We love your derping. Anyway, good morning to you, Sarah. And Nick Tockert also authored question, how do you balance the books and projects that you enjoy versus the series that are more profitable? I am fortunate in that most of my books are, well, actually, just all my books actually have been profitable, except one so far. And it was the book on writing reviews. And it's partly because it's nonfiction. It's out of my normal wheelhouse. And I had some upfront costs on it. I sent it to a professional editor, and she did a great job. The professional editor cost an arm and a leg, relatively. And so my profit and loss on that is, I'm not profitable on it yet, but I'm closing in on it real fast. And BKM, hey, that's me, Carl, is always off to a running start. Somebody see is barely dressed in coffee before the show. That's why we've got the sign. I am probably not wearing pants. Today I am. Anyway, Nick Thacker, oh, hello, the mighty manatee man, master of marketing, which is warm weather and steady sales to you. Yeah, we got lucky. I understand that like Ohio, parts of Ohio and parts of Iowa and Illinois got smacked with some snow overnight. Poor John C. Bruning lives, I think, on the east side of Ohio. And he's got a winter wonderland in his backyard, minus the wonder. And, oh, man. But to everyone who got snow, sorry. We went out yesterday and we had frost on the windshield, but it was pretty clean, actually. We had like a dusting of snow a few days ago. The sun melted it away. So we're in good shape here. There wasn't even any frost on the car today. It's supposed to get up to freezing about the time Cookie comes home from work. And then it's supposed to be cold for a couple days. I forget the weather, but it's in the next room. Anyway, just need a shirt, bottoms optional, and a good cup. Need a shirt, bottoms optional, and a good cup of coffee. Well, Trish, here's the key: more than a good cup of coffee. Not that I'm horribly addicted to this stuff, mind you, but I am. I admit I am, and I'm not trying to. I'm not going to rehab anytime soon. And Nick, you're assuming any of us have a profitable project. Well, there's that. Well, Carl, that's the nice thing about you being able to do most of your work in house is that your profit margin is closer to being achievable. And good morning to everyone. And Sarah, that may be difficult now about BKM's up and caffeinated schedule. That's right. I got up at 4 o'clock with Cookie, got her out of the house by 5, and I've been working ever since, and I've gotten a lot of good stuff done. I've done, I'm going to finish at least 2 chapters of editing on the Terrors before the end of the day, and I have a proposal for a book, a short story for a collection I heard about that I want to get in on. So we're going to be working on that today. Plus, I have a novel that I've been invited to write for somebody, and I need to get that done. Nick Tucker says, as a fellow man of roundish build, none of us should be involved with running as a concept. I tell people, Nicholas, if I'm running, I either have to contact the FAA because both of my feet are leaving the ground, or you better chase what's behind me and hope that I'm not faster than you are. So anyway, Carl Wisman says, Nick, one of my best friends is of a roundish build. I saw him run once and I thought he's not going to be able to stop before he comes to that wall. I was right. Ouch. Ugh, yeah. Well, fortunately, I can't pick up enough speed that I'm going to be going with any sort of dangerous velocity. So I think the picture for the show is the one that I thought BKM was a flying monkey. I was way off, said Sarah. That's true. I don't fly. But anyway, no, that was I believe that was my Uncle Marvel get up. And he was a member of the Marvel family from the 1940s and 50s. He was the only member of the family with no real powers, but he was the first person to defeat Black Adam. So anyway, Carl Wisman, one, $20 is $20. Two, you are a brilliant, productive lot and should be proud. And three, Mancaster of Mattoon County should be profitable. Yeah, seriously, that's a great book. Check it out on Lulu.com. Carl Wisman wrote a really good book. And what is that X-Men character that keeps building up speed until he smashes through a wall? That's Speed Pizza, I believe. No, X-Men runs through a wall. That wouldn't be like Juggernaut, would it? Or maybe Juggernaut. Or I'm also thinking there's another non-mutant called Speedball that was with the New Warriors. So it will be profitable, Nick. Just waiting for Silicon. I should sell out. I sold out years ago, Carl. It doesn't hurt as much as people think. The removal of a human soul is far less painful than one would think. But no, I'm looking forward to Silicon. That will be this September, second Friday and Saturday, I believe, of September. I'd have to go to risingtide.pub and check out and subscribe to my monthly newsletter so that I know when Brian is going to appear places, because that's the only way I can keep track. And we just got another show. Well, I've got to send it to you, Nick, and to you and Amanda, Nick. I did book a show over the weekend, but it's much later in the year. And that will be in the newsletter also. Carl Wisman, if I am running and see a wall, I mutter, "Oh yeah," in case the Kool-Aid Man power sets work like Shazam. That's the spirit, Nick. Never say die. Just say, "Oh yeah." And Mattoon is the town. Coles County is where Mattoon is located. That is true. The gateway to Charleston. And Juggernaut, thank you, Trish. I thought it was Juggernaut, wanted to make sure. And great impromptu intro, thank you. I've been studying some stuff on how to increase my viewers on YouTube and hopefully subscribers. And we are going to be tweaking the opening to this show. So yeah, but thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. And good morning, Donna, Carly. Mwah, glad you could join us. And yay for showtime. And funny, Nick, best not to try it. And liked. Thank you, Carl Wisman. Remember, folks, if you are enjoying this show or ever hope to, please leave us a like on Facebook and give us a thumbs up, definitely on YouTube, where the better sound and picture quality live. And where most of my viewers are actually at the moment, enjoying that. But also, please go to that subscription button. If you haven't already, punch that thing a couple times until it starts to cry, and then do unspeakable things to that bell so you're notified of all future broadcasts. Make sure that subscription thumb is watching. Okay. Anyway, hello from Trish. Hi, Trish. And where's Aunt Donna? Well, how would Carl know? And liked and shared. Thank you, Donna. Much appreciated. Brian is charging up his attack, folks. 35 seconds. That's right. Brace yourselves. And you're not paying attention, Carl, says Donna, Carlene. And talkative this morning. Oh, yeah, bring on the comments, Trish. I'm all for it. And you're on top with the likes. Nice. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. And thank you, Pops Van Zandt. Comics Talk with Pops Van Zandt. Hey, yo, how you doing? How you feeling today, Pops? And everyone's saying hi to Pops. And good morning, my fellow Brian and Nevermorians. Let's shake off the Monday morning chaffing and talk nerdy stuff over some coffee. You came to the right place, Mr. Rodman. How are you today? Hope you're doing well. Hope you and Robin both are doing well. Everyone's saying hi to Pops. And Amy Hale. Good morning and listening while I drive. Mwah. Good morning, Amy. How was your first week at work? Please tell us. And John B. Pica. Good morning, Multiverse. Good morning to you, my friend. Saw you. I was watching your video this morning. Joe Dog McKeel told me about you at Chattacon this weekend, and sorry I couldn't make it. But so you met a former employer of mine who mixed salsa and chips and pudding. So congratulations on surviving. Anyway, I wonder if Michaela is tidbitting and scribbling tonight. I don't know, Carl. If she does, I will probably, more than likely, I'll be there. Because I have fun on that show, and I also like helping. Do check out Michaela Jade's YouTube channel for tidbits and scribbles, where she helps authors overcome problems, and she's on her way to making it. She is working on the fourth book in her trilogy, and if it's as good as the other three, I think we're talking profitable again. And hey, Trish, we have to have you on the madness, says Pops Van Zandt. Yes, most definitely. And that's good news for Cookie. It is, Carl. It really is. And then we've got evenings together, and we can still go out and be sociable and stuff. And hopefully this is permanent. But she is going to be there all this week. We'll keep people posted on it because people like her for understandable reasons because she's awesome. But yeah, that is good news. She's kind of happy about it. She was almost, and I talked to her in text a couple of hours ago, and I said, "So far, so good." And she says, "Oh yeah, big thumbs up." So yeah, it was good. And speaking of good, there's Glenn B. Fleming, Glenn. So anyway, notice I picked the deeper voice, but anyway, that's how he talks. He's from a foreign land. Anyway, Glenn, hope you're having a good morning, my friend. Hope all is well. Brian Rodman says, while NPR is talking about civil war in America, the pandemic continues to bend us over and have its way with us. Oh, paint a picture with words, Mr. Rodman. This is good news, though. I, Brian Rodman, have launched a new webcomic. That's right, Cure Your Ailments with the Princess Warriors, my nieces, the Eid sisters, and I have been working together on a fun girl power-packed action comedy about three sister princesses who must rescue their parents, the king and queen of Atradia, from the merciless Mog the Mean. They must travel through the forest of fright and my nieces over the mountains of madness while facing terrors unknown and make a few friends out of the terrors once known to restore peace and order to the kingdom. Doesn't that sound good? It does. So head on over to patreon.com/Brian Rodman and get ready to fight like a girl. That means you get mean, get nasty, and I like it. There's Jello involved. Anyway, check out what Brian's doing. Brand new all ages web comic. I'm so looking forward to reading that today. That is going to be so fun. Also, check out Brian's Patreon. He does a lot of good stuff. And caught my attention with horror comics, says Sarah. And just think, if I lived in the United States, my birthday would be a holiday. I thought it was anyway. I mean, we don't have mail delivery today. You know, people are taking the day off work. Glenn, I thought it was just because of you, dude. And Trish Bankson just signed up for your Patreon. I'm so happy to support you. Well, Trish, thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate that. I do. And hope you enjoy your stay there. I really do. And we'll get you on the card as soon as we can. I'll work on, hopefully remember to work on today after the show. And wake up at 4 a.m. Pardon me while I go throw up, says Brian Rodman. What do you think I did after starting at 4:15? What do you think? Are you kidding? I prepped for the morning. I got the coffee in the pot ready to just push the button and go. Then we planned out the menu for Cookie's breakfast, and then I got that cooked while she made her lunch. And then we feasted, and then I said, get the hell out of the house. And she said, I'm leaving. I'm never coming back till 2 o'clock. So anyway, yeah, this is the usual day for us. But no, she's happy with the earlier hours. And fortunately, with the latitude that her job gives her, she still should be able to make most weekends with me. So, and my next one's going to be in March. The first Saturday in March will be Kokomo Con. The first part, Kokomo Con's doing something interesting this coming year. They're going to be in a smaller venue, mostly I think because the larger venue was kind of becoming kind of poopy to everyone, and it sounds like they want to get out of the meeting hall business and just rent everything out as offices, is my guess from what I'm hearing. But anyway, be that as it may, they've got a brand new location, a really nice one near some hotels, near some food places, fairly easy to get to, right along the main drag. Again, and it's basically the same north-south street of the previous one, but it's on the more southern side of town of Kokomo. I say town, it's Kokomo, Indiana. It's a pretty big place. But I will be there, and many other comic creators will be there. That it'll be worth your while to show up. So please come see us, and I will have more news on that as time evolves. And check out the multiversefundraiser.com. Definitely check that out. That is it's going to be happening, I think, next weekend, I believe, this coming weekend. It will be a fundraiser for Valerie Perrine, the actress. Valerie has had some health setbacks, and and she has given so much joy to the world with her fine acting. She's gorgeous. She is gorgeous, and you would think that anyone that beautiful couldn't have, that they used up all their quality DNA on their looks and wouldn't be able to act, but she's actually a very good actress. She was in Lenny with Dustin Hoffman. That was a fantastic movie, and I've seen her in many, many productions, and she's just brought her A game to each and every one of them. Not just Superman the movie, where she's amazing in there. But yeah, definitely check that out, and please support fundraiser, the fundraiser. Excuse me. And it's funny because I have a comic book I put out like over 30 years ago, and I called it the fundraiser because I was working in public broadcasting at the time. And I was using this book to kind of fund other books that I would be doing. So anyway, Ryan Permisson has joined us. He shared this episode. Thank you, Ryan, as always, and good morning. Never mornings. How are you? My goal this week is to start reading all my trades and books, so wish me luck. My lips don't move that fast anymore, brother. So good luck to you. And definitely subscribe to Nerd Culture Channel for great nerdy content. That's there on YouTube. Check out what Ryan Permisson does because he's amazing. And in case you missed it, check out the latest episode of Boba's Weekly Bounty with special guest Phil and Phoenix of Distance Nerding Podcasts fame. Check that out. You'll love it. And Sarah's researching while listening. Good luck to you, Sarah. Have fun. And Nick Tucker asked, do you feel that comics are being more focus groups is damaging story quality? Well, the thing is, a lot of comics can't afford focus groups. They're not that profitable. I do believe that if you have the right people on a comic, though, the fewer hands laid upon it, the better. They say about too many cooks and broth. But you get somebody like a Luke Stone, you just tell them what if you had Luke working for you, just say, hey, what are you up to? Okay, fine. Here's your deadline. There are a number of creators that you just want to stand back and just let them do what they do best. But the thing is, mainstream comics have, at least like DC and Marvel, have been very much driven by their financial and their legal offices more than editorial. Instead of like the legal and the bean counter offices working in support of the editorial, it's gone the other way, that they say, okay, we need this big event. We need these characters to be in your book. Like back in the 80s up to, well, actually through the 90s, Marvel actually kept a spreadsheet of books, and at random, they would like call a creator and say, oh, you're writing, except for licensed books, which was, they couldn't do it in there, but they'd be like, oh, you're doing like Meet Misty. Well, you better put Wolverine in there 2 months from now, or you're doing the Defenders. Well, please put in a Punisher and a Wolverine guest star next month, that sort of thing. And it got to the point where those characters became so overused that they no longer had any sort of sales boost for other titles. And in fact, I think it was the Punisher was overused so much that his appearance actually brought down sales in a comic book. And I think that's what happened probably with Harley Quinn. When Daniel Cherry took over as DC publisher a year and a half ago, he cut all the comic titles that were not selling, like something like, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but something like 15 to 20,000 units, which, some comics have been going for years on those kind of terrible sales. But there were books like Harley Quinn. You saw Harley Quinn everywhere, and then all of a sudden her book is gone. Could something have happened? Yes. So anyway, I think that when you take the focus off the creative staff, that your comics are going to suffer as a result. But unfortunately, you need legal, and you need the financial side to keep the doors open. But it should be in support of editorial, frankly, in my opinion. And Comcast's debt lane, I thought I supported them solely on my cable bill. Yeah, I saw Netflix is going to raise their prices soon too, because they were kind of lagging behind Disney Plus, so they got to make up the revenues. But yeah, they Comcast bought Warner's a couple of years ago. And they went into the deal. Last I heard, there was something like $13 billion in debt. And the first thing they did was they told, was tell all their little subsidiaries now tighten your belts. And the rumor is going around for a while that, and I know the source of it, uh, was going around saying that, they're going to close down DC because they're not profitable. All they are is a IP generator, which, is true. It and Marvel both. But that's why the comic publisher is working so hard to maintain its profitability. I know that at one point, at a couple of points actually in Marvel history, they were looking at going all reprint. I know an attempt was made in the early 70s with that because the then publisher said, well, we've invested enough time and effort in, and we've got at that point, 30 years worth of stories that we've got the film for. Let's just reprint those over and over again. So, let's revisit that well too often. Anyway, Carl Westman says small nations spend less money than my cable and internet bill. Yeah. It's funny though. You go to a place and when you're like us, we don't watch TV. We watch DVDs, but we don't watch network television or cable TV. And you go in and you try to tell them, I just want internet. And they're like, well, you can get bundled with this TV package. I don't want your friggin' TV package. Well, you save money if you get like Showtime. I don't want Showtime. I don't want TV. I just want internet. Well, we can also throw in phone service. We don't need phone service. We've got ting.com. Thank you. So try to deal with them. Anyway, Sarah, I'm the same way about researching. Good girl. And from That's a Small Publisher, I also found out later on that topic that the title has a rotating creative staff, which is unheard of for the first story arc. I still have to find more concrete info about that. Now, that's interesting. I'd be interested in knowing being a journalist, if you can reveal your source, if it was a website, I'd be interested in that. Because there's some websites that are more truthful than others. Like CBR.com, Comic Book Resources, or The Beat, or even Bleeding Cool for the most part. But, there's some like, CosmicBook.com, which is a piece of clickbait trash, and certain other sources. I have heard of, well, it's nothing new because I think some of the, what was it? Some of the books like Wonder Woman 77 had kind of rotating, or the confidential books of the aughts, like Justice JLA Confidential, Superman Confidential, books like that had rotating creative staffs. So it's nothing new, but I hadn't heard that about Wonder Girl or any of your other Wonder Woman tied books. And good morning on this fabulous bank holiday, since Cindy Cat. Mwah! I'm making Nanner Millet pancakes and homemade pig breakfast sausage. Ooh, you make my mouth water, girl. That sounds good. Good morning, Cindy. CKOEPP.com, great newsletter. And also check out bearpublications.com for her brand new book, Animal Eye, the novel, and also Animal Eye, the comic book based on that novel. She is a crazy, talented lady. She's crazy and she's talented, but she's our kind of crazy. Anyway, check it out. And join us live Saturday for And I Quote with artist Candace Colbert-Leary on Ryan Permison's show. I love Candace. She is awesome. Please tell her I said hello if I don't get there, okay? And however, some people felt that most was overlooking that deadline issue you brought up. It says from That's a Small Press Publisher. Well, DC has canceled some books that were a pain in the butt to schedule. See, the thing is with publishing, you have to make your deadlines because you book time at the printer, okay? And if you do not make that deadline, the printer isn't going to lose money, so they assess you a penalty to make up for tying up their presses, because as long as those presses are running, the printer is making money. That's Charlton Comics for you back in the 50s. If the creators were having trouble making deadlines, DC may have thought, looked at the numbers and said, maybe we need to retool the schedule so they can do, say, a limited run rather than an unlimited run issue. Something like Batman 89 and Superman 78 are going to last 6 issues. Batman comics, Detective Comics, Action Comics, Wonder Woman are unlimited, that they'll keep pushing them out as long as they keep selling, but they don't have a finite quitting date. And I've seen even those books take on like a creative team for an arc. But um, yeah, and I know that at one point I had heard a story that the original Green Lantern Green Arrow book was killed because Neil Adams couldn't make a deadline. If you remember those days, and I'm one of the few who do, having lived through them, Neil Adams has a lot of irons in the fire. He has a lot of people that want his time and will pay him for it. He could do a monthly book. He's actually a very fast penciler, by Kirby standards almost. But he has like advertising, which pays him a lot more than comics ever will. And he's actually got his own advertising agency. And he's got other businesses that he runs that his comic book is the least paying. But he was doing Green Lantern, Green Arrow on a bi-monthly basis, keeping up. But his time, he kept skirting the deadlines. He kept like barely making the deadlines, and then one issue he did not make it. That was issue 88 with the reprint of a classic Green Lantern tale and an old Alan Scott story behind a green Neil Adams cover. And I am told that publisher Carmine Infantino said, if you don't make the deadline for the next issue, I'm canceling the book. And Adams missed the deadline. They got the comic out, but it was late at the printer. DC was assessed the penalty, and Infantino said, "Fine, we're canceling the book." And that got into how Neil was off of Green Lantern from that point on. So that's another story. But anyway, yeah, but you have to take the deadlines into account. And if you know that the publisher is going to assess a penalty for missing their deadline, then it becomes understandable, because that's a cost it's hard to recoup. So, I understand it. Sarah, 100% info is as up-to-date, accurate is crucial. Yeah, exactly. Now, info can change, and you can, change your book later or your story with any luck. But yeah, research is critical if you're going to present an informed opinion. Again, that's why I created Comic Book Spectrum, because I got people around me who know their stuff, and if they don't know it, they look it up. All right. So unlike a lot of other comic sites on YouTube. So, tablet not playing nicely with broadcast, swapping devices. Use device swapper you. I hear that goes on in the suburbs. And Nicholas Tucker says, occasionally I poke fun at Superman, but dang if DC isn't trying to hold off against the howls of Mouse. The best the mainstream comics came out when Marvel and DC were in fierce, semi-balanced competition. I agree. And you had lower large organizations. I mean, during that time, and also, during that time, each staff was running kind of like light, back in the old days compared to now, especially. But yeah, and also there was a clear demarcation, I think, between the two companies in terms of what they presented. I mean, you could tell the look of a Marvel comic from the look of a DC book. In fact, you could tell which editor was editing a book at DC just from reading the story or the type of story they presented. So, yeah, I think that's why I love the classic days. There's a lot of stuff I just don't read anymore. Even on Hoopla, I'm about 3 months behind on Hoopla reading. So I've got a lot to look forward to, but I'm trying to catch up on the comics I bought and I own physically. But yeah, and also back in the day, you had people that brought in influences that were outside of comics. Stan Lee did not learn to read, to learn how to write by reading comics. Same with Roy Thomas. It wasn't until about the late 60s you started getting people in that learned their craft through comics rather than pulling in influence from outside. So Anyway, Trish Branksome says, Carl Wisdom, I agree about that with the cost of internet cable. Grateful my job offers a discount through AT&T. Well, good for you. Goodness, that's awesome. And Ryan Peresin says, if you want to be a guest on Anti-Quote, we are live on Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern, but if we need to record, we can do that for you. Check out the Calendly address. He has friendly conversation, definitely, and you can promote your project. So definitely get in touch with Ryan. He runs a great show there. And there she is, Kelly Austin. Good morning to you, darling. Good morning, everyone. 1,000 salutations to you, Brian, and a million heartfelt hugs to you, Kelly. My book, From the Paranormal Cases of Bishop Kincaid, The Rembrandt Stratagem, I like that title, is now at current count 101,018 words. I'm trying to cut it to a respectable 70,000 for publication. Do you know if what you're cutting is the right decision for the overall integrity and substance of your book? Yeah. How do you know? Can you remove a portion and it does not affect the story? There was one author in our circle. I'm not going to name that person. But I think she sold the story in public. But she published. Yeah, I said she, so now it narrows it down to half. Wrote a book, and it got published, and then her editor said, or someone who read the book, who was an editor, said, "Do you realize you could have eliminated this one character completely, and it would have made no difference whatsoever to your story? So if you can push two characters into one and leave the story intact, or if it's just a sequence that does not get you closer to the ending, then it can go. It definitely can go." I'm going to send off a thing to Charles F. Millhouse today that I made it under the word count for once, and here's a tip for writers. Did you realize that if if you're like me and you put like a symbol between paragraphs to demonstrate like a passage of time or a slow fade to another location, did you know that each of those symbols counts as a word? If you change the scene a lot like that, you could lose a lot of space. So something to keep in mind. But no, you can do this, hon. I know you've got it. But just take out the stuff that will not affect the outcome of the book, and it can be done. You'll be surprised how much fat you can trim from a novel or short story that way. And bring Cookie home. Ryan Permisson, that is the place for her. That's what we're going to do. And if you can back, great. But shares are just important. I've been sharing your message as best I can, Trish. Doing what I can. And Ryan Permisson says, check out the Multiverse fundraiser this weekend, January 21st to the 23rd, on the back of the Serial Box Network. I'll be on several panels with a great group of people. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get involved with that because I wasn't sure what my schedule would be this week. So I didn't want to commit and have to back out. But I'll definitely be sharing your guys' message and trying to get some eyes in front of you. And get well, Joe and Glenn. Definitely. And Trish, you need to bring that to the madness so we can push you over the top. Pops knows all about being over the top. So anyway, and if you want Ryan to be a guest on your show, let him know via direct message on Facebook. He'd be happy to pay it forward. Coolness. And thanks for that, Pops, says Trish Bangstrom. Thank you, Pops. You're awesome. And here we go. And hugs and much love to all from our Facebook user friend there. Creative conversation, great people, awesome topics. Anytime with Brian K. Morrison, the Nevermore. It's a fun time. Fun time with you, too. Appreciate you being here. And good morning, Teresa Dunn. Mwah, glad to see you here. And addicted to coffee. Who? Brian Robin says as he drinks his fifth cup. Try and catch up with me, Brian. And everyone say hello to Teresa from Pops Van Zandt. And the bummer deal with accessing through the YouTube, I can't put links. You can type it out, but instead of the little dot, put in just the word dot, and we'll figure it out. We'll copy and paste, edit out that word, put in a dot. You're good. You're golden. And hey, Teresa's still under the snow over there. And A-Cup Creations. Hello and good morning, beautiful people. Mwah! Hello, beautiful Keisha. How's the girl this morning? And how's the book doing? And old Jugs. Oh, the Juggernaut. Okay, I was going to say, of whom are you speaking, Damien? That's a little forward. And the Juggernaut. Thank you, Damien Waldron. Check out this man. He can redo your website. He's redone my website, and it's beautiful now because of him. And he's beautiful too. How you doing this morning, Damien? Good to see you. And still kind of September 9th through 10th. Cool. Trish, can you be there? That would be cool if you could be there. They might still have tables too. I'd love to pack that place with Nevermorians. And speaking of subscribers, I lost 2, says from this small press publisher. Think YouTube did some bot scrubbing. Yeah, it's been doing that with mine lately. I had that infusion of Russian bots a couple months ago, and my subscribers would be like 783, 782, 783, 781, 782, 780. They have to do that occasionally, and that's fine. But on 784 non-Russian bot subscribers today, a few androids, maybe a cyborg or 2 in there, but we love them because they live. And Ryan Permiss and the Nerdcast is back with 5 new episodes, so please take a listen at the Nerdcast right down there. And Carl Wisman says, yes, Joe D, everyone is groaning because YouTube cleaned up subscribers who just never watch videos. Yeah, they do that periodically, and that's absolutely fine. But as long as they watch mine and yours and Joe's, then I'm happy. See? And Michaela is great, says from the SO Small Press Publisher. She helped convince me that I am not one for writing pros. Seriously, great advice and motivation on our show. It really is. It really is. And you can do this, Joe. You're smart. I can do it, and I'm a dunce. Wear a big red cap and prove it. And Niece Bonnie, good morning to you. How are you doing this morning? And from the SM Small Press Publisher, BR, stop, Brian Robin, stop procrastinating on the nebulizer number 2. Princess Warrior can wait. Oh. Your public has spoken, Brian. And Cindy kept Cookie has a new gig. No, it's the same one that she had, but she just got put on the first shift rather than the last one. So she's happy. She switched to daytime shifts, Cindy, says Carl. And cool, less irksome hours. Yeah, at least for her. This means I get up at dark 100. But we do it because we are supportive. It's like, old hours. So anyway, and Damian Walbrin says, hello and good morning. How did I know that the show had started? The lilting voice of our Tide Riser-in-Chief echoing through the hectic halls of my workplace. Yeah, that's right. Play me loud, especially if you're working for someone else. Or does your boss have me on the intercom there? Hi, everyone. Hi, wage slaves. I'm here to talk about independence and entrepreneurship. How's that, folks? Anyway, now that's a good workplace, Damian. Seriously. Like, what's wrong with those people? Anyway, Eric Hawkins, good morning, all. Good morning to you, my cover creating friend. Eric has been posting some covers for his upcoming issue of the Zombieful World of Oz. Side of my nose itches. Zombieful World of Oz number 4. Definitely check that out. I'm so looking forward to it. And Intercom. The Eric Hawkins has entered the building. That's right. Pornsack has pulled into his parking space. It's time for the Rising Tide newsletter at risingtide.pub. That's how you do it there, Cindy. Well done. And also go to ckoepp.com and check out Cindy's newsletter. It is fantastic. It really is. And from the Small Press Publisher, again, Nicholas Tucker. That goes back to the bean counter argument. Targeted marketing has killed comics titles before they began when people find out that story was cliche. Well, and the thing is, it's a lot better now than it used to be because, back in the day, some comics wouldn't know they were unprofitable for 6 months, believe it or not, because they had to accept returns from newsstands and all. But now they know right off the bat whether a book is selling and how well it's selling. So, yeah, and like I say, I'm not discounting what the finance people do. It's just that, it's like an example I gave Joe recently when we were discussing this. Like TV shows will sometimes, the network will keep a show on and wait for the audience to find them. I remember Hill Street Blues, the classic police show of the 80s. When it premiered, its ratings stunk. They were terrible. The first year they were like flat. But NBC said, we've got faith in this program. Let's keep it on the air and let's see what happens next year. And the next year, people started discovering it, and it became then a top show for the Peacock Network. But sometimes you have to have faith in the product, and some comics have been kept around for various reasons. Like for years, it was said that Wonder Woman was its sales were terrible, except that it was a good licensing product. So it was kept around for that reason. And then there were some titles like Jonah Hex that did well in overseas reprints. Plus, for years they did Extra Sugar and Spike stories by Sheldon Mayer, but only pushed them overseas where there was a waiting audience for them, whereas they kind of lost favor here in the States. So yeah, there's a whole lot of strategies to the publishing thing, but I think right now they're looking very short term, DC. But from what you said about Wonder Girl, I'd really like to read it now. I wasn't all that thrilled with the idea beforehand, but now I definitely am interested. And hello, Nevermoreans. Mike, Jimmy, Lorch de Bruin, you beautiful man. How are you? And I saw that you are fully funded, are you not? But excellent. That's excellent. But everybody, please check out Life on Quora and also check out Trish Bankston's book. And we'll be having news about Kara Nicole, whose book got funded in 2 minutes, something like that. But we'll have her on the show Friday. You can grill her on how she did it. And there seriously was a canon problem with mass production of Wolverine. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, there are some guest stars you get sick of seeing them after a while. That was one of the things, Nick. Jim Shooter, when he had a blog, I wish he would do that again, because it was very informative, very entertaining. But he said that when he was editor-in-chief at Marvel, he held the line and he said, I am not going to put out a Wolverine comic book. If you want to read Wolverine, you go to the X-Men, okay? Because that helped keep X-Men sales high. And then when the powers that be ousted Shooter, first thing they did was say, we're going to put out a Wolverine comic. And that's when X-Men sales started to do this. So, okay. And Brian Robbins says, speaking of using characters as boosts, my goodness, DC, chill out with Batman, please. I love him. He's a great character. Don't destroy it by having him in 11 different titles. That's right. I think that's almost half of DC's current output. They've got, except for some licensed stuff, they put out like 23, I think 23 to 25 mainstream titles now. And it's mostly the ones that they know will sell, like Wonder Woman related or Batman related. And that's one of my objections with Batman these days, is that I always liked him as the lone Avenger of the night. And now he's the head of a small bat army. So but that's just me. But they don't have to produce comic books just for me, I'm glad to say. I welcome the fact that they produce stuff that I don't have any need to buy. So I'll read it, but I won't buy it. But anyway, yeah. And Mike Jimmy, good morning, my friend from Trish Banks. And Cindy kept the original Skyman Bells, the Master of Steam, because you need to see the Nazi bad guy get a boot to the snoot. That's right. It's an entertaining book, and you'll like it a lot. I do. And marketing based on focus groups never bode well, says from the desk of a small press publisher, unless you have a story to tell. True. Some bean counters look more at numbers than that. That's why there's too much of a mixed bag of failed comics. Yeah. And the thing is, publishing is a crapshoot anyway. You're rolling the dice with every product you put out. And the thing is, like what may be hot today, 12 months down the line, people may be saying, well, maybe I'm looking for something else but this. And like I said, now I think that's why we don't see so much Harley Quinn as anymore. Whereas at one point she had like 1 or 2 books of her own, plus Suicide. She was in Suicide Squad and guest starring all over the damn place. Jim Shooter may have been right. Keep the appearances down and keep the sales high. Life on Quora number 5 is standing funded on Indiegogo after its first weekend. Yes, way to go, my friend. But we're still far from done. Give the comic some love and get yourself one of those plushies that he's offering as a thank you. Excellent. And everyone's saying hello and happy funded Monday from the desk of a small press publisher. And yay, Mike, Jimmy, Lorch de Bruin. I agree. Well done, young man. Well done. And how are you doing on yours, Trish? Let's get an update if we can. See if we've moved the needle any. And Mike, Jimmy, Lorch de Bruin has a show in 30 minutes, but nonetheless, I had to pop in. Love you all. Love you too, man. You know that. And I'm glad you made it. And just don't stop now, man. You're on your way. Well done. And William A. Bove is here. Hi, Brian. How are you and everyone? We are awesome. How was your weekend, my friend? Good to see you. Check out William's work on Amazon. He's really good. And we talked to you up, Mike Jimmy. Yes, we did. We have been talking about you in a good way. Yes, still a lot of snow, says Teresa Dunn. And hello, all. You keep my share, Teresa. Please keep my share. And Carl Westman says it's appreciated, says Mike Jimmy Lotion to Brew, and every little bit helps. And I hope I can only give as much as I'm given. Well, you're doing great, man. I'm really proud of you. I'm seriously proud. And we'll just keep up that momentum, right? And holiday humor is good all year. Check out Santa's sign on the Zon. That's Amazon to its friends. And I see we have another Russian bot just appeared. Hello, my commie friends. And Cindy Gap, learn how to defend yourself from the crazies. Can't spit without hitting one here, though. Get Nick Tucker's Simple Sword and The Fighting X. Two great reference works, whether you're a comic book artist or a prose writer, what have you. Definitely check them out. And so are you more pro-planned arc or ongoing episodic formats? Or maybe you mean pre-planned arc? I think it depends on the writer. You read someone like Alan Moore and you think, like his Saga of the Swamp Thing, you think, man, this guy's had it planned out for years. But then again, one of my favorite classic writers is a guy named Steve Englehart, who's written like the Avengers, one of the defining arcs on Detective Comics, as well as Mr. Miracle, Justice League, beautiful run on Justice League, Captain America, all kinds of big books. And I found out just fairly recently that he never plotted far ahead. It's like, okay, we'll just let the story grow organically in my head, and we'll just go by month, unless he's got like a multi-month saga. Then he's got a little pre-planning done. But I as long as the story is good, I don't care how they do it myself. So I've never really written a series of comics with a long-term goal, so I can't tell you how I do it, but I think it depends on the creator, Nick. And that's from this Small Press Publisher says, but if it was a deadline issue, that would lend to blaming the editorial staff for greenlighting a popular series that would have these issues with the creative staff. Well, if you remember my review on Comic Book Spectrum of chilling Tales of Sorcery from Archie Comics last year, that was one of the worst comics I had. It was the worst comic I read last year. And it was actually, even worse than Checkmate. But I felt it was also very disappointing because you had the person in charge of their editorial department as the editor. And I'm just very disappointed with that book from what came out on the stands. And also one thing to factor in also is that, the editorial staff, I'm assuming that the publishing end of the book probably came in and said, well, you have to we're playing a premiere of like John Kent's book and the next Batman, and we need a Wonder Girl. We got to have the new Trinity in there. And I suppose they got told, okay, you are doing this book. And then they decide, well, we've got a friend who wants to do this book, or they do good work. Let's, can you think you can do that? Well, I think I can. And next thing you know, they're on the book, and then they turn out they can't. Of course, unexpected things can happen. We can't control those things. So I think a certain amount there's enough blame to be distributed everywhere, Joe, I'd say. But yeah, part of it would be on the creator who could not make the deadlines for whatever reason, and to the editorial side for okaying it. And if the business end was familiar with the creator and said, well, haven't we had trouble with them before? They need to know that sort of thing. Anyway, plan all the things, says Cindy Kemp. There you go. And The League of Impossibilists, Nightreich, and Magical Fun, John Pica, available now on Amazon. And from the desk of a small press publisher, Sarah, you have to do the research to show you are credible. Trust me, it is hard to find reliable sales information on comics on the web. Most is opinion, and distributors don't share info. The site you use is probably the most reliable, Joe, I will say, because I think they get their numbers directly from Amazon. And since I haven't seen, remember one of those things they used to do every year, like in the spring, where all the comics had that little box that told you how many comic copies they printed in the latest issue, and how many they did on the average during the year, and how many they sold on average, how many sold the last month of the review. I always found those fascinating. But the thing is, Marvel and DC, you see those figures from Omicron or whatever they call it. It's a terrible name. It's Omicron. But it takes just the direct sales into account. I'm not sure if that's, I think it's all the distributors now, but they don't count any that might go to bookstores, any that might go to independent retailers, if any, or independent distributors, if someone's still doing that. They also don't count foreign sales. So, you know, it's the best we have to work with on our end since we're not on the inside. Um, but it's definitely, you're treating it like it's classified. The Dastardly Dingoes can be found Tuesday evenings talking about all kinds of cool stuff. 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central every Tuesday night. Join the Four Dingoes, as this week they're going to talk about creativity again. They were going to continue their discussion from last week. It was a lot of fun last week. Check it out tomorrow night. You'll enjoy it too. And Kelly, I got 30K words from a story because two characters went out to check a lead and discovered who the previously unknown bad guy was. They head for home and did nothing with the info. Oops. So Cindy Cup, yeah, well, it happens. Well, who was it wrote The Big Sleep? They did the same thing. They had 8 murders and only solved like 4 of them. So, and Volcana has left a couple things open, but it was intended to be a trilogy. So that's the case. So anyway, Cindy continues, it was easier to cut the 30K than to rewrite the back third of the book. Good idea. Good idea. A-Cup Creations on YouTube says, I'm doing well today and the book is doing good. Excellent. I've been pushing it pretty hard. That's how you do it, hun. I've gotten a lot of helpful feedback so far. Can't wait to write my next one. Well, don't wait. Get it going now. Keisha, I can tell you right now, you know what will sell this current book? Your next one? Each book sells the previous one, so or previous ones. And if you can get 3, you're going to cross a point with that. If you keep doing what you're doing, getting yourself out there, letting people fall in love with you like the rest of us have, I have found, and a lot of people have too, you get that 3rd book out there, people start feeling you're credible as an artist, as a creator. So definitely keep working, keep promoting, keep putting that stuff out. You're going to do this, all right? And Cindy Camp, if you need some nerd culture, you should tune into Ryan Permison on his YouTube channel and subscribe while you're there. And from Modesto Small Press Publisher, if you need info on comics and Amazons, and who the heck doesn't? I need all my Amazon comic stuff done too. So anyway, check out Joe D. McPhee. Always interesting on Rising Tide Network. And if you want to freelance words, go to patreon.com/CKOEPP. Great stuff, great content from Cindy. Do please support her. And Cindy is here. Show her some love by picking up one of her books at CKOEPP.com. Thank you from the Modesto Small Press Publisher. Yeah, definitely. She does a lot for this community. Please reward her for all she does for me and for you. All right? Cindy continues from Modesto Small Press Publisher. Yay, thanks. And if you need a neurosis, check out Amy Hale, you silly people. It's the book, not the mental disorder. But no, it's a really, really good book, and you can find it at authoramyhale.com as well as on Amazon. And Brian says from the Modesto Small Press Publisher, the TV comedy Cheers is a great example of that. Yeah, that's another good one. I remember. Cheers was slated to be canceled due to being dead last in the ratings in its first season. NBC kept it one more season, and it became a hit. I forgot about Cheers, but no, you're right about that. And Brian Rahman, stop procrastinating. The Batman fight is not yours. Work on Nebulizer number 2. Oh, and Cindy Caps is one of the things that I think hurt Marvel in the 80s and 90s was the gazillion 6.2 and a quarter crossovers. Yeah, because I remember when I was a kid, I saw the ad for what was it? Fantastic Four Annual number 1. And it was a big epic battle with Prince Namor and the Fantastic Four. And I'm like, Mom, Dad, I've got to get this. This is essential to my well-being. And then they'd have like a team up of say the the Human Torch, the current Johnny Storm meets the original Human Torch, or Spider-Man and Doctor Strange team up, or Spider-Man and the Human Torch. This was done so infrequently that it was a special event. Same with the annual Justice League, Justice Society crossovers, the Crisis on Different Earths. And, I would see those on the stands, and it's just like the sun would come out, the angels would sing. It was a good day because that stuff was special. Now it's, now they can't help but just keep slamming into one another. So, and we don't buy followers on YouTube, so don't click on that link. It's probably a porn site, okay? Sarah says, still listening, stumbled upon a rabbit hole. Wave to me when you're in there. I'm frequently can be found there. And let's see. And Mike, Jimmy Lorchard Bruin says, Sarah, if you find Alice, tell her she still owes me $10. Alice, you deadbeat. And Cindy Kemp says, Michaela Jade has Warriors. Go get the trilogy, available on Amazon now. And she owes me like $1,000 right now, says Sarah. Oh my gosh. Alice, you're running up a bill. Stop it. And Cheshire Cat ain't going to cover your debts. You know what I'm saying? Cindy Kemp says, QuadCon's next gig is in Cedar Rapids, Iowa on January 30th. There'll be a pile of interesting characters there. You can pick out the ones you want. And Grant Lankard, hello, how are you? Hey, all, Angie called off when we slept in. Hope everyone is safe and warm. Well, we hope Angie is okay. I hope she called in well. Like, well, I don't feel like coming in today. But anyway, hope she's okay. Hope you're doing well too, Grant. Glad to see you here as always. When I worked for the water company, my supervisor and I had adjoining offices. Why did I knock my glasses off my own face? What the hell? Anyway, he called me and he goes, Brian, come here and listen to this. And one of our coworkers, who was in another department where I had been and my supervisor was still managing, she called in. She said, well, I don't feel like coming in today. So I've got some sick leave, so I'm going to use it today. And he called her back and said, you are not going to use sick leave just because you're sick of working. We are not counting it you're going to count it as an unpaid day. So, and she wasn't real happy. And I was the payroll guy at the time too. So I'm like, I can't do it. Well, he told me what to do. Anyway, I dig deep to make sure a source is reliable. Great advice, 100%. You nailed this to Sarah. Oh yeah. And also look for people that can back up that view. More than one view is good. Was it Ben Bradley of the Washington Post? If you ever saw the movie or read the book, All the President's Men, he insisted that Woodward and Bernstein have two credible sources on everything they reported. So anyway, Animal Line number 2 is getting formatted even now, says Cindy Kemp. Stay tuned for the digital release at bearpublications.com. Looking forward to that. If that book is anywhere close as awesome to being awesome as the first issue is, you're in for a good read. Actually, it is a good read. I've read the script. I'm kind of like an unpaid scientific advisor on the project. And oh, sure, Brian, talk Keisha into doing another book. More work for me. Ha ha. Carl, that's why I'm doing it. That's what the Rising Tide is about, making more work for everyone. Why should I have all the fun? And Sarah says, throughout several unreliable sources before I found a good one. It takes a lot of work, but to find one that's reliable is worth all the digging. And yes, and I also was watching some of the videos you sent me. Excellent stuff. And Cheers is what I call my warm blanket TV, says Grant Lankard. In other words, a show you put on and it just relaxes you. I love that show. I seriously, that show is just so good. The writing, the acting, everything. And Kelly Austin says, I've noticed on Facebook that there are ads featuring services which are supposed to advertise your book on hundreds of different websites. Does anyone know how credible those services are? And has anyone sold more books because of it? I don't. Personally, I have never used one. I have a lead on a possible promotional site that has been tested and is reliable, but I'm not going to recommend it until I try it first. I just have this thing about recommending things based only on anecdotal evidence. That if I can't verify it for myself, I'm certainly not going to tell any of you wonderful people to follow me into the minefield and put on your blindfolds, okay? But if this thing pans out, I will. Well, actually, it's for YouTube, actually. But if something out there exists for books, I will definitely let people know. And the historical Fancy Guild Fridays night at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, pardon me, on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And Comic Talks with Pops occurs early, often, and frequently. Tune into CromCon, the last. Angie called off due to snow. Nothing serious. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. And snow is one of the best reasons to call off. Trust me. The only snow we should all be indulging in is Abraham Snow. Check out the Snow books from Bobby Nash and other authors, including me, on Amazon.com, also at AbrahamSnow.com. And yeah, poor Alice, that poor woman. And contact Pops and Zane if you want to join the Crom anthology. That's right. And Pops is putting together a crossover with his Crom character, and you can put your IP in there with him. And do a comic story that Pops is going to publish. And thanks to Cindy and Brian. I might have some of those supporting characters go out for a coffee and they disappear till book 3, 4, or 5. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Or you might not even feel the need to introduce them at all at this point. Maybe put them off into your second project and also figure out if maybe what you cut, what you excise from book 1 might not fit in book 2 or 3 later on. See? Why waste the effort? And wow, no sick day for mental health needs, huh? Nope. Let the torment continue, Nick. Why should I be the only one who's troubled and plagued by their demons? No, actually, my demons help me shovel out my driveway. And cross-referencing is absolutely essential. Darn right, Sarah. And Cindy Kip's Zombies Have Invaded Oz. Check out Eric's cool comics. Stonegate Studios on Facebook. Also check out Comixology, where you can also get the books of Grant Lankard and Joe D. McPhee on there, too. Definitely all good stuff. And from the desk of the small press publisher, remember, marketing is a money pit. Only invest in those things that get your product seen by more people and not expect immediate sales. Remember the rule of being seen 8 times. That's right. That's true. That's true. Now, it takes a little research, but Keisha, and Kelly, you might look into Amazon ads, which is something I'm re-looking into. We're having to redo our Amazon ads because they did fairly well for, but they're kind of peaking, and now they're doing this. That we're still making more than we're spending, but we're not spending a whole lot because they pay you, or you pay them based on the clicks they get for you. So Cookie and I are working on that. The fun never ends. But anyway, being seen is more important than immediate sales. Also, being seen helps you with those sales down the road. There are some people like Carl Witzman. He's not a comic book fan, but he will support Kickstarters if he likes the person. And I do the same thing. If I like the people, I will try to support them somehow, either by sharing their Kickstarter campaign, which is something we all can and should do, or I will actively, contribute to it, which will then stir the wrath of my wife because she looks at the budget. But if you like people, support them. Like I said, this weekend, we will be, or actually this Friday, we'll have Kara Nicole in. This is her latest project, or her recent project, 52 card pinup, which was a wonderful, wonderful project. She was so good, and she is so much fun. Anytime I can talk to her, it is always a treat. So definitely tune in Friday at 10 p.m. here on Nevermind the Furthermore, and we'll have Kara Nicole on for an hour or two. And she's getting up at Dark 100, drinking a lot of coffee, so she's going to be cranky, and that means she's going to be a lot more fun. Anyway, she regularly is, so it's going to be a great time. It's going to be good TV, I'm telling you. Anyway, but please check us out Friday morning on Nevermind the Furthermore, when we have special guest Karen Nicole. And Cindy Kemp says, sites promising to promote your book to a gazillion pages. Many, but not all, are scams. Some of the others promote your work to a bunch of sites, but not necessarily ones that reach your audience. Yeah. The best thing you can do is look for recommendations from your friends and see what they recommend. There are some, like Cindy said, there are some legit ones, but there are a lot more that are not. And you have to get the one that's right to you because a site may know how to sell, say, a romance book well, but they may not have a clue as to how to sell a Western, for instance. So, like promoting sci-fi on a page for romance aficionados. There you go. That's true. And the day of being able to carpet bomb Facebook with promos is over. It will land you in Facebook jail. I've been in Facebook jail because I promoted too much. I had one day, I was at the keyboard about 14 hours, and I was carpet bombing various Facebook pages it was for Skyman. And I actually got that book up to, I think it was like 5,000th in its worst genre, and by the end of the day, I had promoted it got up to like the 14th. people were buying it, but it was a lot of work, and it still wasn't enough to make it worth my time. So, but just the same, it needs to be done. But the best person to promote is you. Get yourself out there, get your work out there. If somebody has a guest shot on a show like Pops Van Zandt, or Joe D. McPhee, or Ted Davies, see if you can get on there, okay? And Sarah says, reading a lot of what I got from Midgard before I get more, craving and tapping the addict arm of a patrol, but catching up. Oh, I know. I am finally making headway in all the books I bought in 2020. So I've got a table I want back. And Cindy Kemp says Brian Rodman has angelic memoirs, nebulizers, and Princess Warriors. Check them all out at brianrodman.com. And Stormgate Press has lots of great adventures. Check them out at stormgatepress.com. And the story I'm turning in today, Charles, is going to be for the project for the Captain Hawkland anniversary book. And Cookie liked it. So Brian Written, Cookie approved. And Kelly Austin says, I'm pulling my hair out trying to get this book out after all the personal family delays. I'm so frustrated. Charles F. Millhouse is going to send me in a rocket ship to the moon if I don't get my book in soon. Does everyone get delayed and frustrated when things go awry? I'm the poster child for it. I was supposed to have a Volcana sequel out 5 years ago. I was supposed to have Aquatic out 2 years ago. But I don't get so many family issues because I don't have much family. I'm kind of an orphan, but and nobody's rushing up to adopt me. But I have very few family issues, but I have volumes. But no, most of mine are, you see, you work this right and other people ask you to write for them. And I'm like, I'd like to work with them. This is a golden opportunity. Let us take advantage of it. So I realized like late last year that I hadn't published anything of my own since 2019. So this year, Rising Tide Publications is back, baby. But it's easy to get frustrated at it. But all you can do is go harumph a few times, vent a little to your friends, and then say, well, I'm going to get this damn thing out, whether it kills me or not. And you do it. And that's what makes the frustration go away, is progress. So everything just is moving. As long as it's moving you closer to the goal of getting that book out in public, Kelly, that you're doing it right. Don't let anyone tell you different, and that'll help keep your frustration down, hopefully. And did you see that someone bought a single page of Spider-Man for $3 million? Insane. I remember, and a recent issue of Action Comics in a very high grade went for like $3.2 million? These are cultural touchstones, Sarah. And the thing is that page of Spider-Man, there was a time when artists did not get their original art back. That the publisher would use it for promotional purposes, or would use, or just keep it in their own vaults for reprinting later on. DC actually had a policy where they used to give regular tours through their editorial offices, and everyone that came in got a page of artwork from somebody. One guy did cartoons on it. He got like an old Joe Kubert Viking prince from the 50s, and he toured the place in the late 60s. One editor was giving away the artwork to entire stories if you wrote a good letter that they could reprint for their letter columns, which you don't have anymore. And DC also had a thing where they would actually destroy original artwork and their argument was they didn't want the artists to be taking it and making bootlegs of their own books, which, that hasn't happened very often in the 85 plus years of comics history. So you're talking about a page that really probably shouldn't exist. For whatever reason. Now, a lot of people used to steal artwork out of the offices once it was used, some of them sometimes being the artists themselves. So, but that's the way it works. And COEKK.com, CKOEPP.com. I think you're trying to say that is Cindy Kep's page, and please sign up for a free monthly newsletter. It's a great read, I promise. And Royal Cruz and Denver Martinez have received the script for Animal Eye number 3. They'll be diving in after producing another bit of art for Animal Eye. That is awesome. That is great. Nicholas Tucker says, "Publish your stuff, Brian." Yes, sir. Will do. Planning on. I got by the end of the day, I'm going to have at least 2 chapters of the Terrors fully edited and ready to submit to my my other editor, the formatter. And we're going to have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Plasma Fire Graphics cover on that thing. It is gorgeous. It is seriously gorgeous. And it's going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, Nicholas Tucker thanks to Cindy Kep. And Eric Hawkins says, I think it was the page of Secret Wars. Oh, that's right. That's the one. It was the page of Secret Wars where Spidey first got the symbiote. That's the 3.3 million. I was confusing it with another page. I think I'd seen a listing for a Ditko page, early Ditko page. But but I can see it. But that is it. That is a cultural touchstone, Sarah. Very important. Where Spider-Man, for the first time in his history, got a brand new, newly designed costume. And here's the cool thing: Jim Shooter did pay the guy off. It was a piece of fan art that somebody sent in and said, Mr. Shooter, who was editor-in-chief at Marvel at the time, said, "Do you think you could use this?" And he said, "I like it. We've got this project coming up," and cut him a check for that costume. So good for him. And gotcha. And Captain Dyslexia strikes again. I just happen to have my anti-dyslexia fez on today, Nick. So I'm armed and ready for it. Excuse me. And yes, Eric, I went cross-eyed about even having that amount of money. I found out something. There is like an underground economy of comics. I'm not joking about this either, because I know one of the people in it. At least one of the people in it. I think I may know 2. But the whole thing is, there are people with big, stupid amounts of money that want to invest in comics. And some of them will say, I want a copy of, let's say, Superman #1. I want nothing lower than a 5.0. And a lot of these guys and gals deal in cash, okay? Because they are a solid investment. At least these type of comics are. Not all of them are. But many of the old ones definitely are. But anyway, mostly for their cultural value. So, but anyway, yeah, I'd like to have that kind of money. If I had that kind of money, Sarah, I'd throw mine away. And Victoria Adams explores Job and the conundrum of suffering with a historical and cultural look at the book of Job and perspectives on helping the hurting. Hint, Job's friends are an anti-example. Yeah, Joe wasn't well served by his community, Cindy Kep. He needed Nevermorians, by golly. If he had Nevermorians, we'd have never heard of Job. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Carl Westman says, good show today. Since you don't have to feed Cookie, # publish something, don't die. Thank you, Carl. Well, if I've got to set a good example for you, don't I? Then I can't be nagging you to getting more Mad Gasser cheerleader books out if I don't put something out myself, right? I'm working for a lot of other people. I'm just waiting for them to publish my stuff. And Cindy says, ooh, that sounds grand, says Nick Tucker. And Ascendance to Troll and Pangea Online for gamelit amusement. Check that stuff out. Thank you, Cindy. And wow, says Sarah, you betcha. And Jessica Johnson, you betcha. I love you, hon. Mwah, how you doing? Heroes for Kids, Perryville Mo on Facebook, and also Heroes for Kids Con also on Facebook. Check out those 2 websites and join us in July of this year. I'm going to be back in Heroes for Kids Con. It's going to be fun. And see, I told you, Heroes for Kids, Perryville Mo. Huh? Was I right or what? And Facebook.com, Heroes for Kids Comic Con. Definitely check this out. One, great cosplay group that sell pop culture collectibles that benefit the kids in the community. And also, Heroes for Kids also the table fee, a portion of the table fees, portion of the gate receipts, everything that does not go into putting on the convention goes to a local charity and a national child-based charity. So definitely support them. All right, they're great people. I love them. And Yield Dragon says 2 anthologies out with more on the way. Yeah, Cindy. And we are taking vendor applications now. Save one for me. I've got to get my paperwork into you. I know that. And Central Iowa got buried in snow. For snow that's more interesting than that, check out Bobby Nash's Snow series. Yes, and definitely check out the brand new Snow Shorts Omnibus is out with Volume 2, which has a story by me. Please check it out. It's a great, great book. And Jessica Johnson, says we were raising money for Shriners Hospital. I know about Shriners. And Children and Community Counseling Center Foundation. Definitely two very, very worthy organizations that deserve your support and mine. So please come see us at Heroes for Kids Con. I will be there. Hopefully get my old spot back. I liked it. Hopefully get my helper back. She was very helpful. God bless you, Sarah Cass. And I got to sit next to Michaela Jade all day. It's a great life, I tell you. And check out Renmelian for Browncoats of Kentucky. Renmelian is amazing. Anna Maria Salvaggio, I love her. She is an incredible creative force. I wish I could put this stuff out as fast as she does. She is amazing. And let's see. Oh, wait a second. And also, if you need some poetry, Teresa Dunn has some for you. Check her out. Poetry Expressions on Amazon. Kelly Austin says, I would like to say to everyone wanting to become a better writer or artist in your home state, check out your local college. Some colleges will offer totally free classes to those wanting to learn basic study and so forth. I've been taking some creative writing courses and it's been very helpful. Just a thought to anyone trying to fine-tune their talent. Yeah. Good thing there, Kelly. And there are also, sometimes you can find writers groups. If you find some that write the same thing you do, that's good. I mean, I tried to get in with a couple back in Illinois, and they're like, "Oh, we write romance or we write sword and sorcery. What do you write?" I write weird crap. That's nice, Brian. Anyway, so check them out. You know, there are resources to help you fine tune your writing. Definitely. But the thing you do best to fine tune your writing is write this stuff. Don't just don't wish you could become a better writer. Work to become one, just like Kelly is doing. She's amazing. And hashtag bring cookie home. Thank you, Cindy. And don't forget to tip your host. Thank you again. Mwah. And CKOEPB.com. Don't forget that. And I'm pretty sure we can manage your spot again. Thank you, Jessica. I love you. I do. And sign up for Rising Tides Newer. It is the bomb diggity. It's almost as good as Cindy's. Check us out at risingtide.pub, where you can also get links to purchase all of our books, as well as recent episodes of our broadcasts, such as Nevermind the Furthermore, some back issues of Clever Tile Pending, and also Comic Book Spectrum every Thursday night at 7. And let's see, also tune in to Tidbits and Scribbles tonight. Hopefully she's going to have one, and have fun storming the castle. Good advice for all of you people. And Sarah says, I remember dragging Ron back to his booth from yours when someone wanted to pick with him. Oh my God, that's right. A memorable weekend at SilCon from several years ago. That's what Sarah Castor had to do with me. She and I are old friends. We know each other from the Toy Man shows. And she asked if she could be my assistant. And I'm like, oh, yeah, let's spend the day together. That sounds like fun. She's funny. She's a great gal. And at one point, I said, "Can I go looking around? And do you mind?" It was kind of quiet. She goes, "Yeah, go enjoy yourself. I'll manage the booth." And next thing I know, I come back. I hear her yelling at me, and she goes, "I sold a book of yours." I'm like, "Keep it up." And so I went out, and then like about 5 minutes later, she came running up to me. I was like 2 aisles away from my booth, and she came running up, and she grabbed me by the shirt, and she's like, "Get back here. You got to sign some books." I'm like, "Books?" I've been selling your books. I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." So definitely want Sarah there. I may not show up. She's doing better than I am. Anyway, love you, Sarah, if you're watching. I know so many cool Sarahs. And from the Decimal Small Press Publisher, and this is the time for both Brian to harass me about getting the module done for the project so I can get back to Nicholas Tucker. If you want me to, brother, I will. Get busy. I mean, Nick is waiting on you. You know what I'm saying? Joe, he cries himself to sleep every night. He didn't want me to tell you, but I can't hold it back any longer. He weeps at night going, "Joe, I want that module back so I can work on it." Get busy. So yeah, I wanted to see that thing too. So please get busy and get your comics done while you're at the same time, would you? And Sarah, I went there to see a friend no longer than an hour. Somehow, I'll never know how I ran a booth and never being at a con. That's what you get for not running away fast enough, girl. And plus, we were chasing the elusive Wi-Fi signal throughout the length and breadth of the entire mall, cross-county mall in Mattoon, Illinois, where we'll be coming back, was it September 14th and 15th, I think it is. the day before I go up to Windy City Pulp and Paper, just for a visit, though. But anyway, well, this year you can make it, Sarah. This year you can make it. Um, and we are now caught up with your comments. So, and we had a little extra time today, but got to fix that. So anyway, so I tell you what, folks, let's call it at this, shall we? And let's do our attitudes of gratitude. And we want to thank our Patreon subscribers. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where you can directly support your favorite creators. And we've got one name to add on there. We love you, Trish, and congratulations on your book. And it's 70% funded. If somebody can look that up, and I think she has moved on to another show, and let me know if how close she is. I need to put that up on my boards here. But anyway, if you want to join these wonderful people on this card, check out what we offer in return for your support at www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. And we are proud part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Later tonight, I think we're kind of done today now. Michaela J does her tidbits and scribbles on her own channel now. But tomorrow we'll have TED Talks at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, and following that up with the Dastardly Dingoes at 7 p.m. tomorrow night, where they continue their talk on creativity, and you'll definitely want to tune in for that. And as always, the star here is, of course, Jeffrey Hayes and Plasma Fire Graphics. Thank you for sponsoring the show again, Jeff. And everyone, check out what they can do for you. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. Did you see those beautiful covers? Well, your book could be maybe in a future trailer like that too. You can if you contact Jeffrey Hayes at plasmafiregraphics.com. Check out his indie creator-friendly prices, and you will be amazed. And you'll be happy to have that cover on your book. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. And let's check out the last few comments we've got here. And it was first draft done, and last I saw, Joe D just needed art and out. And love you to the abyss and back always. You too, sweetheart. You take care. Have a great day, Sarah. We'll be checking in on you. And she is 900. Oh, wow. That's fantastic. I think that's better than 70%. She is $904 away from her goal of $3,000. I think that's better than 70%. Is that? Yeah, that's more than 3/4, isn't it? My math, there's a reason why I didn't take math in college, you know. Anyway, that's great. Congratulations, Trish Bankston, everyone associated with that great project. Please check out, do a search for Trish Bankston on Kickstarter, and definitely check my profile page on Facebook. We are going to be sharing that. Let's get her fully funded, all right? It was a fun experience, no complaints. Yay, Silicon. Yeah, we got to get you back, Sarah. A lot of great memories with you there, and great memories with Michaela Jade at many places. Oh, hello. I guess it's Monday. Yeah, that's the thing. When you're a full-time writer, you don't know what the hell day of the week it is. Excuse me. So anyway, Michaela, are you, in the few seconds we've got left, are you going to be broadcasting tidbits and scribbles tonight? Carl wanted to know. He's got to plan his day. He's a busy man, you know, busy. And hello to Sarah, and thanks for hosting the adventure. Mwah! Thank you for being here, Cindy. CKOEPP.com. Check out her website. She's amazing. And Trish, sorry I was making more show plans. Well, I understand that. Congratulations on getting close. Hopefully this show helped move the needle for you. And thank you to everyone who has subscribed, who has contributed to Trish's Kickstarter so far. And I see, I'm going to make a prediction. I bet you're going to get funded by this time tomorrow. That's what I'm saying, Trish. And Michaela slept in. And yeah, she'll do tidbits tonight. I think I should be available, Michaela. Please check that out tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Michaela will help you with any sort of creative struggles you're having with her panel of experts. Please check it out. And Nabil Mixed, anyway, go back to the fifth dimension where you were spawned. And I know that our crack staff of bot assassins will be eviscerating you soon. Let's see. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Let's see if I can block the user. Has he been blocked yet? Thank you, Carl or Eric, whoever did it. Good work. Good work. Anyway, check out Tidbits and Scribbles tonight on Michaela's YouTube channel. It's always a good time and always informative and helpful. And that's what you can be today, too, to someone. Be informative. Be helpful. Don't spread misinformation. Check out your sources and definitely share what you know. As you're reaching up, make sure you're reaching back at the same time to help somebody up, okay? And Kelly Austin says, thanks, everyone, for the advice. Love everyone. Got to get back to work on the book, or the book won't finish itself. Be safe, enjoy your day, and live long and prosper. You, too. You take care, Kelly. Love you, hon. You have a good day, and keep me posted on the progress there. And you can keep me posted on your progress this coming Wednesday, because we're going to have another episode of Nevermind the Furthermore. Don't forget, on Friday, we'll have your comments, but we're also going to have Kara Nicole, the lovely Kara Nicole, on the show. Cosplayer, writer, comic book creator, model, former politician, vocalist. She just does everything well. She really does it. She is sickening to mere mortals such as myself. But anyway, please check her out on this Friday's Nevermind Furthermore. We love having her back, and because she's got a lot of great information. So please check in with us and check in with other members of the Rising Tide broadcast group. All right. Anyway, we've got to get back to work too, and so thank you all for being here. Thank you for your great comments. And as I go back to where I'm supposed to be on the queue for the videos, we'll have some extra messages from some people. Please check them out too, and support them as well, as you have supported me, and I appreciate it. Everyone, have a fantastic day. Thank you for being here. Happy would have been birthday for Betty White. Happy Martin Luther King's Day to everyone. And we will check you out on Wednesday as you're checking me out. Will he be wearing pants? Doubtful. But you can have fun watching. Anyway, folks, thank you for being here. And as always, stay smart. Stay safe. I'm getting it wrong. Stay smart. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Remember what you say at the end of every episode. And don't forget to never apologize for being awesome. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you Wednesday on Nevermind the Furthermore. Have a great Monday, everyone.
Thank you for watching Nevermind the Furthermore, a Rising Tide broadcast network production. If you enjoyed any part of this show, please give it a like or a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and consider becoming one of our Patreon supporters. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Nevermind the Furthermore.
From author Brian K. Morris comes a tale of irreverent holiday horror, told with much inappropriate humor. Dr. Victor Frankenstein creates the spirit of giving himself. Ho, ho, ho! Santastein, or the post-holiday Prometheus. Available at Amazon.com. Get your copy today.
Author Cindy Kepp is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Kepp at CKOEPP.com today.
Hi, I am Joe D. McPhee. I am the host of From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher, and I want to cordially invite you to watch our show Saturdays at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. On our show, we will have different guests as well as talk about the comic book industry and pop culture. And every so often, I might actually do a drawing session or a 3D rendering session every here and there. So once again, I want to invite you to watch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher right here on the broadcast channel that you're looking at, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Hope to see you there, and make certain that you catch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks.
Hey, yo, Pops here. Are you looking to be on Monday Madness? Is Monday no good? Do you need a special edition? Are you looking to be on the first timer spotlight on for you new guys? Launch parties, countdowns, CromCon Monthly. We got it all right here at the Madness Comic Network, providing online promotional services for the indie comic community and proud sponsor of
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit cb4k.org.
Secrets. Trust. Worth. The bond between souls, intertwined within otherworldly intrigue. Michaela Jade brings forth the Elite Warrior series, a collection of dark fantasy romance novels set in a twisted world where power lusts in the hearts of men and devotion seduces the souls of women. Warrior's Secret, Warrior's Trust, and Warrior's Worth. Available now at authormichaelajade.com.
Southwest of Chicago, there is a small, secluded cemetery known as Bachelors Grove, and it is one of the most haunted places in the United States. Author Brian K. Morris brings you a collection of writings that will help you navigate this ghostly graveyard, if you dare. The Haunting Scripts of Bachelors Grove is available now on Amazon.com. Get your copy today. From author Brian K. Morris comes an epic tale of armor forged by a god, a hero forged by courage, and an ancient menace poised to re-emerge and threaten our world. Volcana, Rebirth of the Champion, is available on Amazon.com. Get your copy today. Stormgate Press presents Pulp Reality 2. 10 new short stories from today's leading authors and illustrators in the new pulp genre. Packed with pirates, private eyes, aliens, automatons, villains, and vigilantes. High adventure, wondrous fantasy, mysterious horror, and startling science fiction await. Pick up a copy and be transported to astonishing places and travel to amazing times in the Golden Age pulp style. This is Pulp Reality 2. Available now on Amazon.com. From author Brian K. Morris comes a classic hero in a high-flying, fast-paced, and action-packed steampunk adventure. The original Skyman battles the Master of Steam. With an introduction by comics icon and historian Roy Thomas. A Rising Tide, an Ace Comics publication. Available now in print or digital format on Amazon.com.